Hi drivers, finally we're doing an episode on fitness.
Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. I'm just doing what I do.
Hello Matt, welcome to the Race Driver Coach Show. It's great to have another interview, and this is another sport specific interview on fitness. Well, I mean, you told me you went golfing with him as well, right? And you noticed something about his mindset, because obviously mindset for me is massive.
It's just ultra competitive. I played golf fairly regularly back then, so I was hitting the ball quite well. And instead of getting frustrated, he asked for a little bit of advice. He said, "Why am I doing this?"
Yeah.
And then he took that advice and he just actioned it straight away. And in the back nine, he was a lot better, and it was very, very close between the two of us. His ability to take on information, process it, and then action it very, very quickly, and that for me was a massive part of why he's so successful.
Mm-hmm. In the gym, when you're training, when you're on the bike with them or whatever, their character traits there, you see them on the track, right?
I mean, take Liam, for example, Liam Lawson. I took him to a country park near me to do some hill reps.
Yep.
And I knew the hill, and it's not a very nice hill. It's quite steep, it's undulating in places, and it's hard. And I said, look, I'll do the first one with you. You sit behind me and I'll pace it out for you so that you've got an idea. Because he's so competitive, halfway up, he came flying past me. And I couldn't help but laugh as he went past me, because I knew that he's going to get to the top and he'll regret that.
You're in a bit, yeah.
But it shows his mentality is, even though it wasn't a competition, in his mind it is.
Yeah.
And he has to push himself and he has to go hard.
Yeah, even when we go into the hotel room, walking up steps, it's always a race to the top step.
Yeah.
Everything is.
The descriptions of the physicality of riding a bike is absolutely incredible. When they come out of a corner and they accelerate, it is almost like trying to do a pull-up with your fingertips. So they are holding on to the bar with their fingertips and they're trying to get as low as possible so that they can accelerate as hard as they can. And then just when they think they've got control of it, they've got to slam on the brakes, which is basically then doing a push-up away from the bar as hard as they can to get the weight back on the bike, to then throw it into a corner, to then accelerate again and be holding on with their fingertips again as they're coming out of a corner. And that is what they do lap after lap after lap after lap.
So their grip and their forearms.
I mean, you can understand why, a lot of these guys have problems with their forearms and their shoulders and things. And that's what they go through. We use a lot of bands. So we use resistance bands, shrugs, squats, lunges, rows, all those sorts of things. But going through a nice range of motion. I like to add in some reaction work, either with balls or reaction lights, but also with them maybe off balance, maybe on one leg, maybe you bring somebody else into it, so it's three people, or you change the exercise each week to a certain extent. You change a little bit of it. You might get them moving around whilst you're doing the thing.
Yeah. What was that step like physically? GP2 to back then is a bit different now.
It was big. My first year at McLaren, they were still running the V10 engines, and then they went to a V8. And when Lewis jumped in the car, it was a V8, and it was an incredibly powerful car. For him, he was very, very focused. He'd had a lot of support and advice over the years, so he was ready, as ready as he could be. He's still, like every driver that gets into a Formula One car and is expected to do 70 plus laps in a test day, they're still tired at the end. You can't get away from it. And it's not always a physical tiredness. Quite often it's the mental tiredness because of the demands on them mentally to adapt to what they're required to do. The number of buttons and knobs and things on the steering wheel is just go through levels that the new engineers are going into, and the prospect of this could be his career. This could define his career. There's a lot of pressure involved. So mentally, they're very, very tired, and we just need to try and keep on top of that and help them through it.
Absolutely, I get that. I did a test. I remember one with a rookie driver at the Abu Dhabi test, and they're on the radio all the time, aren't they? Telling them to change settings. It's like 5-6 times a lap, and this kid's trying to learn how to drive the car, to not screw up, to try and make a good impression, and everything's tense. And I'll tell you what, they had 8 sets of tires, new tires ready for him. And he got to set 2. By the time he'd done set 2, it was the neck had gone. And then obviously because he's tensing and worrying even more, it makes it worse. But he's literally, as soon as I hit the brake, my head goes forward and I can't pick it up. It's gone.
Yeah.
And this kid was not unfit. He trained, he'd done big cars before, and it's like, oh my goodness, what a shame. So we had to come back from that. But still, it was mentally, it's a big deal. It puts so much pressure on you.
Can't stop me now.